It's a special day across all of the country, but particularly here in Eugene, Oregon, where, according to our mannequin, the grass is damn green in Eugene. It's National Signing Day, and we are going to talk with head coach Dan Lanning. We're going to talk with offensive coordinator Will Stein, defensive coordinator Tosh Lupoi. We begin with the chief of staff. Malchow is here. I'm Joey Mack along with Jerry Allen. We're in the Country Financial Studio. It's our National Signing Day special presented by McDonald's, your locally owned and operated McDonald's. Get a $1.99 medium iced coffee available all day, every day. And if you're Coach Lanning, he's up to what, about 5 cups of coffee a day? What's an average day, Marshall?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't want to rat him out too much, but probably about 4 by noon,
I love that. So, we were talking as we get rolling today that it is a different signing day. Signing day's changed a lot in the last 5 years, hasn't it?
Yeah. So one thing I do think that the NCAA got right was, moving it to the early signing day. It used to be all throughout January, you're checking on your commits, and you would eat dinner with them once a week and make sure that, the other schools weren't fishing around and finding a way to get your guys, and you were kind of babysitting them. And now you can sign the guys that know they want to come here, and so they're here. So really, our focus in January has been on 2025 recruiting. Our focus in January has been on some portal recruiting. But predominantly, Coach Lanning goes on the road and he sees as many 2025 guys as possible.
Right.
So he's been, trains, planes, and automobiles all around,
all
around the world.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah,
Scooters.
No sleep.
Scooters now, right?
Scooters. Yeah. So, our whole staff's been grinding. I mean, it's been nuts. I know that there was one week where he was like in 14 states in 5 days.
That's wild.
And then on the weekends, we'll have a junior day every weekend in January. So, we're on to 2025, portal recruiting, and then a small amount like the guy that we signed today.
Yeah.
Small amount of 2024 recruiting, and we're excited.
It's fun.
No, but the early signing period was really nice, and you like that. But it does bring some issues because if you're preparing for a championship playoff game in your conference, you all of a sudden are trying to do 2 really important things at the same time.
Yeah, it's going to get even more challenging. I was reading that, the first – hopefully this is a factor for the Ducks, but the first playoff game is going to be December 20th.
Right.
And – signing days like right around there.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be nuts. You have official visits. You're trying to prepare for a playoff game potentially, and hopefully the Ducks are in that situation, but maybe not. And if we are, it's going to cause a lot of issues, and we'll be prepared for it. And so, at Alabama, I'll never forget, in Georgia, sometimes we'd have official visits while playing in the SEC championship game,
right.
And our coaches would fly back and on Sunday and meet with the kids, and I'd kind of hold down the fort, those places. So it might be a situation like that.
You and I talked on our pregame show for our Oregon Sports Network broadcast at one point this year, and something that really stuck with me that you said is there's a lot of conversation about things that can change and the things that might make it easier, but it's also the rules are the rules, and you just got to take advantage of what you have in the situation you have, and you've done that. You guys have really embraced that, it seems like.
Yeah. You can complain about the rules that have changed in college football, but they are what they are. And, I know a lot of coaches throughout the country are frustrated with the portal, NIL, and one, we're extremely fortunate to be at Oregon, the most innovative school in the country. And two, if you sit there and complain about them, they are what they are. And we're embracing the portal. And the biggest thing for us is retention and acquisition. And, we never want to do the portal so much that we're not building for the future. And so we're always going to build through that high school base and supplement with the portal, and we're not going to ignore the portal. If you are, then you're falling behind the times. But I will say that it's not just a one-year team. We got to win next year, and that's going to help us retain players and acquire new players. And so there are spots that we'll always look to the portal for help. And, we've really embraced the portal. We've embraced NIL, and we're very fortunate to be at Oregon. I will say that, what we have going on here is really cutting edge, and I know that players are seeing it.
Yeah, no doubt.
Marshall, it wasn't that many years ago. It was really different. When you called an athlete or you tried to set up a meeting or get them to come out, you had to teach them who Oregon was, where Oregon was, what was Oregon about. You're not finding that now. Much more educated in Oregon, and the respect for the school is already there when you arrive, isn't it?
Oh, man. And that's the thing that Coach Lanning always preaches with recruits and, potential portal guys is like, you always know about the flash at Oregon, but there's so much substance here. I mean, and that's the thing that, Coach Lanning always preaches. It's not just the jerseys. It's not the cleats. It's not the gear. There's so much more here than that. And, whenever guys come to campus, they realize how special this place is. And it's not just all those things. I mean, there's such great people here. And over the last 2.5 years or 2 years, we've really – we got so many things to offer past, the flash at Oregon. And, I would say that this is the place where I've had more guys. I've worked at Georgia, Texas A&M, Alabama, unfortunately UW, but I've worked at a lot of good places and some bad places, obviously. And really, the cool thing about here is every single guy says this is their dream school. Like, I've never had more players tell me that Oregon's my dream school. And that's the thing, because a lot of the players we recruit are far away, it is a dream. Mm-hmm. And the reality is most of the time these guys are going to go take the convenient, close-to-home option. And it's our jobs to make it a reality for them. Mm-hmm. And not just a dream school, but, hey, look, you can be here. Like, you can play here. Your family can come play here. And that's the great thing about NIL. It's not to park a Lamborghini under our garage. It's really to make sure these guys that live in Texas can have their parents come see them play 3 to 4 to 5 games a year. It's not about the flash. It's not about these guys getting paid a ton of money. It's really about these guys that really want to live out their dreams, make it a reality, play at Oregon, and have their parents and families come see them play games. And now with NIL, that's a reality.
That's
like
sweet.
These guys can have their families come play. And, early on, I'm sure that, guys like LaMichael James or Matrell McGraw, like those guys probably struggled to have their families come see them play games, even though I'm telling you, there's no place that I've had high school athletes tell me this is their dream school. But now with some of the things that we have now, it's a reality. They can come here, and they can have their families here.
That's sweet.
That's cool.
Marshall Malchow, Chief of Staff for Oregon football. We got Will Stein, Tosh Lupoi, Dan Lanning from the coaching staff coming up. And, look, I always say, like, it takes a village, what you all do. We're going to go through all the recruits, kind of introduce you, Duck fans, to everybody. But it takes a village to pull off what you just described, a chance for you to talk about the staff that makes all this go.
Oh, man. So I forgot a couple names last year, and
You've
everybody got on.
Look at that.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Let's start out with your role. You're Chief of Staff. What do we have? What are you doing behind the scenes?
Yeah. Great question. Every day's a new day.
Everything.
No. Every day's a new day. And the big thing for me is, for our coaching staff, I would say that our job as a recruiting department and ops department and, all those things is to put the ball on the tee for the assistants. Make it really easy. And, like, we're the guys that give the ammo to the coaches so they can go out and recruit and sign players at the highest level. Our job is, to be that ammo guy. We're bringing bullets to the coaches so they can mow them down. It's and really, like, for us, like, we take a ton of pride in that. We take a ton of pride in making our coaches look as good as they possibly can. We put schedules together. Our recruiting department puts schedules together for these coaches on the road, so they're seeing the top players in the country. Evaluate a lot of film in NCAA. That's another thing they got right is, now support staff can evaluate film and give their evaluations to coaches, so that's a big part of it. Identification of prospects. These coaches are worried so much about football during the season, so they don't have a lot of time to evaluate 2025 recruits. They're worried about signing 2024 recruits. They're worried about portal kids. And, for us, like, a big part of it's identification, evaluation, and then really, like, we have a great marketing department. I know y'all have seen some of the videos that have been made here, and that's also super vital because, again, a lot of the guys that we sign are very far away, Jerry, and like having that movie trailer that they can see before they visit.
The energy.
Yeah, they can feel it. And then when they get here, making sure the customer experience is like a Chick-fil-A or like a, Walt Disney World, that's really important to us. So again, I listed a bunch of names. There are many, many more. But yeah, I mean, Tyler Dean, Pat Biondo, Lydia Gibbs, Brittany LaGrosse, Cam, Alex, Kobe, Drew, Ryan, Jake, Brian. I mean, and again, there's so many more guys that help in our recruiting, and Coach Stein just walked in, and he'll tell you about his crew. But we got a lot of people that help out in recruiting, and we got a great squad.
Well, it builds the future.
That's right.
Doesn't it?
That's right.
And you said it earlier, and I want to kind of finish with this, Marshall. Like it takes a village, and it's also always an eye toward the future, isn't it? I know that's a big part of your job.
Yeah. No, and it's funny because player acquisition used to be the only thing, and it's changed now. It's player retention and player acquisition, and for us, it's really fun for us to have a team and a culture that Coach Lanning's built, where guys want to play here and guys want to stay here and develop, and they know they're getting developed. And so, last year I would say our biggest signee was Bo Nix.
Right.
And, this year when you look through it, our biggest signees are, getting Jordan Birch to come back and stay, getting Tysheem Johnson to come back and stay, Terrence Ferguson, Jeff Bassa.
Yeah.
It used to just be about the freshmen that we're bringing in. Now like we're talking guys out again in the NFL. I mean, I'll never forget when I was at Georgia. The first year we were terrible. We went 8-5, lost to Vanderbilt, Georgia Tech at home. But you know what we did? We got Isaiah Wynn to come back and stay first round left tackle. We got Nick Chubb, Sony Michel, Lorenzo Carter. And the next year we played for the national title.
Right.
And we signed a bunch of great freshmen, number one class in the country. But really the reason why we played a championship game is because of the retention that we had. And now you have the portal, so guys can leave to go other places, and we haven't lost a starter in the portal yet.
Right.
And I think that speaks to the culture that Coach Lanning's built and the things that we have here at Oregon. I think everybody knows this is a great place to stay, develop and grow, and reach all your dreams and goals.
Chief of Staff, Marshall Malchow. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, guys.
Always
appreciate it. He's kicking us off today. That's the kickoff, and then I guess it's 1st and 10 for the offensive coordinator. Will Stein's coming in. We've got a little bit of film review for Will Stein. Today's show presented by McDonald's. Coach, good to see you.
Coach.
Every Ducks game day, get a 20-piece chicken McNuggets, 2 medium fries for $10 only in the app. Marshall Malchow on his way out. The first of 4 guests on our National Signing Day special here in the Country Financial Studio. So, all right, we heard about the background, what it takes to pull off a recruiting class. I say it takes a village. I want to start with that. It does take a village to do what you all are doing over the last, months?
Years, lifetimes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Coach, how are you?
It never stops. I'm doing good. How are you? I was with my Joey this morning.
Excellent. I love that. Great name, by the way.
That's a great name.
Just a stellar name.
Yes, Jerry's a great name, too.
Oh, I appreciate
Yeah.
this.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm
So
good.
what we'll do, Coach, we have of every freshman that you brought in, we've got a little clip, and we'll be able to talk about them a little bit. But just
Cool.
starting generally, like, what do you make of the class? Tell Duck fans about the new group of Ducks that they're going to be seeing.
Yeah, I think it starts with what Marshall just finished with, just the retention of our players. We're going to have a really, really good team coming back, and that's really exciting to see our veterans work. We were able to see our guys run around the last 2 days because the last couple of weeks we've been on the road recruiting. So it's fun to see the vets out there. Just, the standard is extremely high in our program, and it starts with those kids and those players, and they're holding the younger guys, these newcomers, to that same standard. But, overall, I thought it was a extremely successful year recruiting, and this goes back really 2 years with some of these guys, and they're finally Ducks, and it's really exciting to see and excited about this upcoming season, this upcoming spring, winter workouts. I mean, when you get off the road, like the football bug's back in you, because after the long, hard season that you're in, it's like it's nice to have a little bit of a breather, and you go on the road recruiting, see some new faces, see some parents, and see some coaches, some high school coaches. But now we're back, and I think everybody's hungry to get going, and really excited about our new group and this new 2024 Duck football team.
Yeah, that's sweet.
I know you got, we're looking at 4 stars and the 5 stars and all of the headlines, but you go into a recruiting period looking for certain areas you need to beef up or get depth in, maybe the O-line or maybe, the receivers or whatever. Did you accomplish what you wanted to do in the areas you needed to get?
Yeah, I think we did. Going into this new conference, there's going to be what we believe is larger human beings on the other side of the ball, especially up front. So you always want to beef up the O-line, like you said. Yeah. And, we added some good depth there with some young guys and some older guys. But, again, another group that last year at this time the O-line was more or less a question mark. Yeah. Going into this season, it's definitely a strength of our offense. Added some great depth at quarterback, as we all know. Receivers, I think we added some excellent talent on the edge, some young guys that for the foreseeable future will be, I think, standout players for us. Tight ends, again, we got a young kid that came in, young two that came in, and our running back situation is probably one of the best in the country coming back as well. So we're excited about all the kids that we added, and think we definitely hit in those areas that we needed.
Cool.
We're going to do a little film study. All right, so you heard Marshall talking about how they evaluate, how you look at prospects. Well, now we get to hear from the expert, evaluate a little bit of each prospect. So we're going to go alphabetical order, zeroing in on the freshmen, and it just so happens that you get to start with the one that was added to the list today. So a little film on
pretty fast.
Gatlin Bear, a wide receiver coming in for the Ducks, and get a little film study with Coach Stein.
Yeah,
what do you think?
And if you watch some of these clips, a lot of times he's double, triple team. This kid runs sub 10-1 in the 100-meter. He's not only is he super fast, but when you watch his tape, he's a football player. That's one thing when I first watched him, I was like, okay, I know he's a track star, but how does that translate to the football field? And he has every single movement, every single skill set that you want in a football player. He's not just a track kid. He is a football player. And obviously he plays wide receiver, probably play on the edge for us just because he can take the top off the defense, has elite hands, elite speed, and toughness as well.
That's sweet.
Yeah, and lives in basically the frozen tundra. Yeah, I think we got stuck up there twice going to see him, but it was well worth it.
Yeah, that's the new addition today for those of you who are live with us. Next up, alphabetically again by last name, Devin Brooks on the O-line.
Yeah, Devin's a great in-state kid, again from Clackamas here in Oregon. Big, physical, really a guy that can play all 3 spots, we think. Has large human beings in his family, and you can see how he plays the game of football with violence and an edge up front. Whenever you look at O-line, you want to look at guys that can bend, guys that are athletic, and again, guys that can play multiple positions. I think he can play, tackle, guard, even potentially play center for us, and really excited about Devin and all the qualities that he's shown so far on tape.
And not the only Oregonian in the class, but that's an important connection, I'd imagine, keeping the talent in state.
No doubt. I mean, I think when Oregon Ducks football is at their best, it's when we are dominating the PNW in recruiting. And this is a kid that had multiple offers, this side of the country, a lot of Pac-12 or formerly Pac-12 offers, I guess. And, he's a great kid, number one, and a really special talent in the state. We're excited that he's on our team.
You touched on the tight ends, the first of them here. You're going to have to help me make sure I got the last name right. Cade Caton?
Cade Caton.
Caton, there you go.
Cade Caton. This is a kid from Texas who's played at Manville, a really great program in that state, just outside Houston. When you look at Cade, when anybody sees him in person this summer, any type of fan day, he's a huge kid. He can bend. He can catch the football. We saw him at camps last year, and what stood out is a guy that size running that fast and catching the football. So really excited about him and his development here. We play in multiple different personnel sets, from 11 with 1 tight end, 12 with 2 tight ends. Even in the bowl game, you saw 13, 3 tight ends, and even 14 when Kenyon Sadiq scored on that sweep. So tight ends are vital to our success, especially going into the Big Ten, where we know that we have to run the football to win. This guy can set edges. He can get big, extend gaps for us, and excited about Caden and what he's going to bring to our team.
Looks like a wide receiver with those hands.
Yes, he's really, really talented catching the football. He actually camped with us last summer too, and just solidified that we knew that we needed to get him on our team.
Back to the O-line, and it's a candidate already on the all-name team when your first name is Fox.
Yeah, no doubt. Fox Grader. I love that name.
Yeah,
it's a great
it's an awesome name.
Yeah, it is. And a guy just north of us in Washington plays with an edge again and a violence at tackle. Another guy, when you look at who we sign, it's versatile players up front that can play guard, can play tackle. He has athleticism. He played in the what was formerly known as the Army All-American game, but the Adidas All-American game. A really talented player. Again, another P&W kid. You can see him double teaming in there, and finishing blocks is something that we strive for at the offensive line position.
Also on the O-line, Trent Ferguson.
Yeah, Trent's this is probably the largest human being on this entire offensive roster. This kid's all 6'7", flirting around 300 pounds. He was actually a lacrosse player before he played football, so he's got really light feet, some great athleticism. A kid that we believe that can develop into a starting left tackle one day for us. And he's not here yet, but he will be here soon. And another in-state kid at West Salem High School, a great program, and excited about his development and where he's going to be for us here in the future.
A few pass catchers as we continue on the offense, alphabetically by last name. Dylan Gresham joining the Ducks.
Yeah, Dylan Gresham, another DG on our team, but this kid from San Jacinto High School in Southern California. When you think about Dylan, you think about speed, athleticism. This guy he was extremely productive in high school, scored a lot of touchdowns, caught a lot of footballs. He's a playmaker, and he was courted by a lot of people late. But stuck with the Ducks because he knew that this was the right place for him. And a guy like you see on this tape, the ability to make people miss in space. When you catch the ball as a receiver, you turn into a running back, and that's what he does. He looks to score every time he touches the football. And he was actually a kid that worked out with us in bowl prep. So he's experienced practice already. He's experienced film study with us, a work week in terms of game prep. And really excited about Dylan, what he's going to bring to us.
He's got some speed.
He's got some speed for sure. That's one thing that when you recruit wideouts, you obviously look for toughness, catchability, being able to create separation. But then this is stuff that we cannot teach. We can work as much as we want, but this kid was born with natural speed, and he's going to help us for sure.
Jeremiah McClellan next.
Yeah, J-Mac was a kid that, committed to another school and told us to keep recruiting him, and that's what we did. And we flipped him late on the early signing period. And, talk about a playmaker, a guy that does everything for his team. He'll line up at Wildcat quarterback. He was handing the ball off. He's what you want in a wideout. He's got great size to him, obviously great speed. And his ability to break tackles and run with the football, I think, is as special as anybody you're going to see in the country. Understands space. You can see they're running just a vertical pattern there. Be able to create separation. Good double move right here on the out and up. And then the ability to go catch the ball and make those contested catches at the magical moment. Make good receivers great receivers.
O-lineman again, Shaq McCroy.
Yeah, Shaq. He goes by Shaq for a reason. I said Trent was the biggest. I misspoke. Shaq is the largest human being I've ever seen in my life. He is all 6'8", 370, and you see that size, and you think somebody that might not be as athletic, but you can see right here, Shaq can bend, Shaq can move. Again, going into the Big Ten, it takes large human beings to go win that conference and be able to run the football in our biggest games. So we added great size with Shaq. Another kid he's from Pinson, Alabama, and another kid I heard Marshall say, dreams come true. He always dreamt of being an Oregon Duck. So our ability to make that happen for him and to bring him all the way out here on the West Coast and have his mom, Miss Steph, really trusting us with her baby boy, her large baby boy, was big for us. So excited about Shaq.
He reminds me of JPJ, the way he blocks. He finishes blocks.
He's JPJ, but 5 inches taller and about 80 pounds heavier. Yes, sir.
That's a guy that if he touched you with his pinky, you'd fall over.
Yes, but he's like the sweetest kid ever, but when he goes on the football field, he turns into a different human.
That's cool. The quarterback in the freshman class.
Yeah, Luke Moga, kid from Sunny Slope High School in Phoenix, Arizona. It was a kid that when I first got here, again, another dream come true for Luke. He did a great job last spring of making himself known by the way that he threw the football in workouts. And really the way that he runs as well. This guy is a 10-4, 100 meters. So, Gatlin is a sub 10-1. Luke's not far off from Gatlin. He plays quarterback. Wow. So truly a dual threat, but not just with his legs. I mean, the kid can really throw the football. Got high IQ, high character, He's been running as fast as anybody on our team so far this spring. Really excited about Luke and his trajectory here in our offense. You can do a lot of things with him, power read game, zone read game, but then obviously his ability to fit the ball in the tight windows just like you saw there. His ability to anticipate and be accurate with the football is huge. Got great leadership, comes from a great family. Really excited about Luke.
Another pass catcher next in Ryan Pelham.
Yeah, Ryan Pelham's another kid we turned late. And again, Marshall said it, but kids that dream of coming to Oregon, this kid was committed to another local rival, and it was, a great addition to our class. Another playmaker, get the ball in his hands and let him go be great. This kid can create separation, extremely quick, not as big as Gatlin or J-Mac, more in the Dylan Gresham size, but create separation. Right? Like receivers is the ability to separate. You see him running past this corner. You don't see a lot of catches from Ryan where there's a guy right on his back because he's faster. And then again, at that spot, he's able to create separation, go make the catch, and then go score touchdowns.
Another tight end sticking with the pass catchers.
Yeah, A.J. Pugliani. He's another local kid who's really excited. We're excited to have him on our team and to see where he can go with this offense. He's really tough. Like when you watch him play football, he plays the game the right way with a physicality, with a violence. Can play inline, can play on the edge. You see him catching we call this a little axe screen, using his off arm as a weapon and ability to go score touchdowns. But whenever, like I said, you can keep the local kids that can play here at home, that we're in good shape.
A little more exciting for him, because I called North Medford High School football in high school for like 13 years.
Right.
So that's like home.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
Good guy.
Wide receiver next.
Yeah, Jack Ressler, a kid from a extremely well-known program, as we all know, Mater Dei High School in Southern California. This is a kid extremely tough over the middle, more of a slot receiver for us than anything. Bigger, thicker build, can block on the perimeter, can make contested catches, has a high football IQ and a will to win. Really unlike anybody else. Really excited about Jack. And what he's gonna do for our offense, and also potentially in the return game at punt returner.
And then the one running back in the freshman group.
Yeah, Dink Riggs from the DMV. This kid is smart, tough, dependable. Not only did he play running back for his team, but you'd see him at Wildcat quarterback throwing passes.
Wow.
I do love double passes. I know we didn't see that a lot from us this year, but I promise you there's a double pass waiting on somebody. We practiced it about a million times this past year. I just got to call the damn play. But anyways, Dink can throw the football too. Guy's got great vision, great acceleration through the holes. His play strength is extremely high. He's got a thick lower build. The kid that was Gatorade Player of the Year in that area, and really excited about Dink and his versatility for us in our backfield.
Lastly, your third tight end out of Orem, Utah.
Yeah, Roger Saleapaga. When you think about Roger, this kid is an excellent ball catcher. He really is. And another guy that's gained probably already 15 pounds since he's been here. He's got a thick lower build, a big upper frame, and I think he has the potential to be one of the greats here. I really believe that. This kid is I just put some high standards on Roger for everybody, but this kid is really, really talented. Excited about him out of Orem High School in Utah. Comes from a great family and is really working his tail off so far.
Whew. Well, that was all 14 on the offensive side.
Impressive.
So sum it up for fans. I mean, you look at that film, maybe jogging your memory of some guys. Just sum it up for fans. What do you like about the group?
I mean, everybody hears this word in Oregon now. Since I got here, I never really used this word, but I mean, Dan, Marshall, they say it a lot. Now it's in my blood, is elite. Mm-hmm. Elite. Elite is the best, right? There's nothing better. And we really believe that we signed the best here in this class, in the 24 class, and excited about their future. And they're nowhere near where they're going to be right now, but they're surely on their way. And it's, some of these kids, and we'd love for all of them to be able to help us out this next season. And the good thing about all these guys, too, besides one or two, they're all here.
Right.
So they're able to get the work this spring. They're able to get ingrained in our offense, and we will have true evaluations on if they're going to be helping us out this fall. So it's exciting. It really is. And, this time last year I was probably doing the same show and I knew the kids, but I was new to Oregon.
Right.
So, I've invested time in knowing these kids, their families, their brothers, sisters, their aunts, their uncles. So I feel even more connected to these kids. Obviously, last year's class, I feel extremely connected because I coached them for an entire year. But it's cool to see everything come to fruition, to work hard in recruiting. And when you think about the way that we do it, it's genuine, it's real, it's authentic. And I think that's why we were able to sign these kids.
All right, great question from Andy real quick, Jerry. How much did you travel this season in recruiting? You know how many miles?
A lot. A lot.
That sums it up, Andy.
A
that
lot.
sums it up.
Yeah. I mean, we're a national brand. We're a worldwide brand. And so if a kid in the DMV or in Tampa, Florida or Miami is interested in the Ducks and it's real interest, it's not just for the logo, it's for the people, we're going to go find them and we're going to sign them. We'll go wherever we can to sign Ducks. And obviously we got Tosh in here. This guy's the GOAT in terms of evaluation, in terms of coaching, in terms of signing players. And I've learned a lot from Tosh, just in my short time. Cause
iron and iron, right?
He's sharpened. Yeah. He's iron does sharpen iron, but this dude is a guy. We talked about just mentorship yesterday and finding guys that you think are better than you to look up to. And he doesn't even know this, but I told the guy next to me it's Tosh Lupoi. And even though he pours into guys like me, and he's made me a better coach because he's a grinder. He is extremely detailed, and he coaches the right way that everybody would want their kids to be coached. And so, yeah, that's a little preface to Tosh.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
guys are freaking.
What an intro.
Yeah, I mean, I look up to Tosh for sure.
You seem so genuinely excited. Your first full year here, now you've gone through this recruiting process. Looking back, did you ever realize or have a vision of what it was really going to be like, this enjoyable?
You never know. I mean, I was coming into a completely new environment for me. I knew Marshall, I knew Drew Maringer, but that was pretty much it. So I'm very confident in myself. I know that I'm very adaptable to different situations and organizations. And I knew I picked this place because I believed in Dan and the vision that he was, telling me was going to happen. And that entire vision came true for the most part. And besides, as we all know, one game where we could all coach better and do a better job for our kids. But, I mean, I dreamt this was going to happen, and I'm so excited about the future and where we're headed. And I really cannot wait for spring football. I'm so eager to get going and do football with this team and to improve. And, we got some humble pie last year, and now we're able to go to the next stratosphere that we're working towards.
Did a hell of a job last year.
I appreciate that, Jerry. Thank you.
Offensive coordinator Will Stein. Hey, thanks for being here.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate
it.
Yeah.
That's right. From the offensive coordinator now to the defensive side of the ball, it's our National Signing Day special presented by your locally owned and operated McDonald's. Get $1.49 any size fries only in the app. Will Stein, now Tosh Lupoi into the comfy chair. We'll do a little review of the freshmen coming in, but look, a bigger headset. They're adjustable, I promise. They're adjustable. So that's going to be though my first question for you, Coach. So,
my head size, or
well, actually, so I'm a 7 3/4. What do you got?
I'm not sure. I actually don't wear hats because it's
you can't find one that fits.
Yeah, the circumference too large.
No, I'm with you. Well, Coach, thanks for being here. Let's start. I mean, Coach Stein talked a bit about you. What about Coach Stein? What's it been like working with that guy going against his offense in practice?
Absolutely awesome. Yeah, he's a incredibly detailed individual. It's really cool, and this has probably been the most crossover I've experienced, where just an open door at all times for the both of us. So cool, or even going over each other's house, going out and building a relationship much more than football, but at any point being able to go in and bounce some things off of each other, show them some things, draw some things up on the board. And I think that's great value to do that, where, I'll be asking if a specific disguise or defense might interrupt a specific route concept. And, he's someone that's, looks up there and say, well, we actually would option out of that, or it wouldn't even – the route wouldn't even develop that way because of the pre-snap look that you're providing. So, things of that nature. It's a building that we're constantly growing with each other and, trying to make that show on Saturdays.
That's sweet.
It's been a long road going through the first recruiting period. Now it's done, the second one. What are your emotions right now? What are your feelings about now that the haze in the barn, so to speak? How are you feeling?
Well, I would disagree with you.
Oh,
I don't believe the hay's ever in the barn.
okay.
So every day is an opportunity for us to improve, to get better. We attacked that process the first 2 days of this week. I know other programs probably approach signing day a little differently. We were out there with the fellas in the grind, right there with them in the morning. Coach Willie Love and an elite strength staff, us supporting them out there and carrying that right over to a self-scout approach where we're just debriefing, ourself right now of where we went right, where we went wrong, and really trying to attack what we felt like were the weaknesses this season and, put us in a better position to compete for the whole thing.
Defensive coordinator Tosh Lupoi. We got about 10 minutes before the head coach Dan Lanning joins us. You ready to do a little film breakdown with us? Every
Yes.
freshman. All right, we'll talk about every freshman and then one of the JC guys coming in as well. We're going to go alphabetically by last name, Coach, and then let's start on the defensive line with Mr. Breland, I believe, out of Santa Ana, California.
Yeah, Aiden. I think the most important thing you need to know about him is as a national champion. How many champions can we sign and bring that to our culture? Right before the USC game, he arrived. We were at the warm-ups there. I was running up the tunnel to hug my wife. He was waiting at the base of the tunnel, and he picked me up and he cracked my rib.
Wow.
And diagnosed by Chief.
No kidding.
So the rest of the season I had a cracked rib, and
Wow.
but it was also that feeling of an absolute beast and me being a helpless man in the air.
Wow. Well, that sums it up, doesn't it? So no pressure, I guess, for an offensive lineman when he comes in contact with him. All right, to the defensive backfield, Dakota Fields to start.
Yeah, DK. He's a guy I love to see when you rise versus specific competition. So Long Beach Poly game, 14 tackles, I believe 2 interceptions, and see him playing at a high level of a rivalry game. I think that stands out a lot about being an elite competitor. Other than that, just visiting him at the house, he has an attack white dog named Lambo. And that's someone always to be aware of if you're in that neighborhood.
All right, good to know. We're getting so much inside knowledge now. I did not know about your ribs. I'm still going back to that,
Yeah,
Coach.
they're better now.
That's good. That's good. Aaron Flowers also in the defensive backfield.
Yeah, Aaron Flowers. Just a testament of relentless recruiting, leading with Coach Hampton. Did an elite job there with him and his family. This guy really stood out because we knew what we felt. It came down to us and USC really in the end before he made his verbal commitment. Coach Hampton put an elite Zoom together, and it was one of those things where you put a lot of work towards something, the consistency of every day in the process, but then to show something. And as we're talking through it and going through it, Coach Hamp really led that. And I'm looking through this thing. It was like, I don't care who I am. I'm coming to Oregon no matter what after this presentation.
That's awesome.
All right. And, this is a guy, too, just kind of confirming when he commits to you how hard Alabama, Texas, and Georgia never let off. Like they put on the gas pedal after you watched his senior season where I think some of the immature programs are going to, do their evaluations off of sophomore year or junior year and then stop. The way this guy performed this season at the level he did, we feel like we have arguably, one of the absolute best in the country.
Sweet. Now to the defensive line next.
Yeah, so Tion Gray, I just saw him listed at 285. That was probably like his 4th grade body weight. Definitely in the 330s right now. Giant, large man, and there's nothing more exciting for me when you go in to eat breakfast, or like last night we had a connection meeting with the fellas, nothing to do with football, all about life. After that we ate some dinner, and to go in there and just see these giant, massive men that are, the size of NFL players today as 17 and 18-year-old men. So he's got a long ways to improve. He knows that. We're excited to do that with him and fine-tune his skill set. But from a measurable standpoint, he's certainly got a head start from that. And so you understand, his nickname is Da Issue. D-A Issue.
That sums it up, doesn't it? Also on the defensive line.
Yep, Jericho Johnson, nicknamed Big Co, has his own clothing line.
Good nicknames.
Big Co. Don't know the Twitter or IG or any of those. Not too good at that stuff. But he's this guy really stood out at his game. I was really impressed visiting him in person, and he didn't know we were there. It was me and Coach Tuioti, and you just hear a voice rising in the locker room before the game, and the leadership value. He's a great individual, extremely high character. Some of the stories you hear about this guy where he motivated 7 or 8 teammates to go to church with him during the weekdays. I believe it was Wednesday nights. Highly involved there. Probably the best overall. That's not Jericho, by the way. That's Day Day, just so you guys know. Got this messed up. So, but Jericho, probably the best signing day announcement I've ever seen in my career in 18 years.
Really?
Yeah. So if you guys want to check that out, Ivy is his brother,
Ivy.
bona fide rapper and father, also an elite church rapper.
It was amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a show.
That's great. Outside linebacker next in Jackson Jones.
Jackson Jones, versatility. That's what sums up this guy right here. Different skill set. You know, he's a guy, as you can see in this film, he's kind of entering from all over the place, attacking internally, rolling off the edge. I think what stands out, too, is his production. You know, he played 5 games this season and had 9 sacks. His junior season, he had 17 sacks. You know, we spell sacks with money sign, A-C-K money sign, so you guys are aware. And that's what this guy's coming after.
Love that. In the junior college ranks, back to the defensive backfield.
Yeah, you know, I love recruiting a guy. One, he's always going to have a soft spot in my heart being from the Bay, you know, and specifically the EPA here. This guy didn't have it easy at any point in his life, including coming out of high school, didn't qualify, kept working, became a JUCO player. And again, just like we mentioned with Aiden, how many champions can we surround our defense and our culture with? This guy's another national champion from a really great program led by Tim Tolick at CSM that I respect a lot. So I think we know what we're getting with him, and excited about, you know, fine-tuning some of these things from a technique standpoint. But you can see a skill set, an exciting individual here that we hope can come lead our defense.
Also in the defensive backfield, early candidate for the all-name team when Kingston is your first name.
That's right. Kingston Lopa, so we refer to him as King. Again, NorCal guy. You know what you're getting when you're signing a Sid Quan Thompson product at the Grant High School. Brother of Shaq Thompson, all right, and a place that, again, not the most friendly neighborhood at all times. So Tennessee tried to get cute at the end, and their car service actually got lost in the neighborhood and stopped and was reverted, and they had to go back to Tennessee.
Linebacker out of Los Angeles next on our list, and Kamar
Matudi, okay? So Matudi, so you guys understand, in Botswana means craftsmanship, one elite with tools and weaponry, all right? Wow. This individual plays like that. He represents his last name. You know, he had a Zybeck 4.72, which is an electric 40, which is hand time probably in a 4.5s. Impressive individual, has been working his butt off here. So, you know, excited to clean up some technique with him and attack the process with him.
Defensive backfield, again, also a candidate for the all-name team, Coach.
Yes. We just call this guy Iffy. Don't worry about pronouncing the whole thing. No disrespect to him and his family. Awesome family. Came straight out of Baltimore, St. Francis. Again, you know what you're getting with an individual like that. He can take hard coaching, you know, and he kind of lit the nation up in the All-Star game where he took a pick 6 to the house. So I hope we see a few of those in Autzen.
Linebacker Braden Platt.
So freakish individual, sport athlete, actually threw the shot put as a sophomore over 60 feet.
Wow.
I threw it 47 feet and qualified for NCS. I would not come anywhere near that. That was my senior year too. So this guy is an impressive, explosive individual. Threw the javelin over 190 feet, which is the top national mark. And he'll actually throw here as well. And, you know, I think it's most important we're going to always look at the P&W first. And once again, just our staff and led by Coach Lanning signing the best of the best 2 seasons in a row. This guy is certainly no short of the best of the P&W.
Elijah Rushing from Tucson.
Yeah, I think Elijah Rushing, you know, one thing that stands out, 31.5 sacks in the last 3 seasons. So production there, it starts there. But he's got all the tangibles. He's 34.5-inch arms. 251 pounds, 6'6", an 81.5-inch wingspan.
Wow.
So those are actually NFL measures today. Now, those were taken when he was 17. So now it's about pushing him, getting him to play at a consistent, hard basis, making that technique show up on game day. And excited to do that with him.
Back to the D-line from Oklahoma.
Yeah, so that name as well, we just call him Day-Day.
Day-Day.
Right? So I suggest you do that as well. This is actually the second time we're watching his film because you had it as half as Jericho's as well. So nice we had to see it twice.
That's right.
All right, but this guy, I really like his versatility. I told our staff the day we were getting him that I'm kind of challenging everybody and see, like, this guy's going to compete as good as anyone that we're signing based off of the film evaluation. Then you really dive in from his family dynamics and get to know the guy. Really excited about this individual. He's a guy, I'm not comparing him to him, but from a versatility standpoint, you see like a Brandon Dorless where he has the ability to dominate the C area and then get reduced down and be problems in the B gap as well.
Linebacker Dylan Williams, lastly.
Dylan Williams, I think just speed and physicality. Again, I'm always watching specific films. So he played the national champion Bishop Gorman out here in Oregon. Okay, we did not attend that game because that's against the NCAA rules. So we were able to evaluate that from a film standpoint. At that game, he had 13 tackles. He caused a fumble, and he absolutely lit somebody up on kickoff there. And part of our defensive culture is ball excellence, and this guy had 4 caused fumbles and I believe 1 interception this season. So I think this guy's a sideline-to-sideline individual. Excited to work with him.
That's it. That's the class. Thanks for the film breakdown, Coach.
Absolutely.
That was awesome.
You guys played a lot of freshmen last year. With
That's
the
right.
athleticism and the size we're seeing with this class, do you anticipate some of these guys getting to play right away, adding depth to that defense?
That's going to be up to them, how hard they work, how much they apply themselves, how much they get in shape, address their nutrition habits, and put themselves in the position. One thing that's going to happen in our defense is the best player is going to play, no matter how old you are, what your age is, and I think we proved that, like you said, last season, getting some guys that we feel like can help us win, and excited for the future with all these youngsters.
Well done.
Defensive coordinator, Tosh Lupoi. Coach, thanks so much for the time.
Appreciate you guys.
Really
Thank you.
appreciate it. Coming up next, it's National Signing Day Live, getting to know all the latest additions to the Ducks. We're in the Country Financial Studio. It's our special show every year, been presented by McDonald's. And Coach Lanning is coming in next, the Oregon football head coach, kind enough to join us on a day that's really a celebration of Duck football. That's sort of what this signing day has become. And it's fun for me just to welcome you back to the studio,
Man,
sir.
Great to be back.
How you doing?
It's good. Doing good. How
Yeah.
are you guys?
Today's a good day, right?
Today's a good day.
Yeah.
Yeah, today's a good day.
Yeah. So Jerry asked this to Coach Lupoi, and I told myself that I had to ask you this because I know the hay is never in the barn, Coach.
That's right.
Was a lot of the hay at least in the barn heading into today?
Yeah, well, we started working on the next crop.
Yeah.
Right. So we started working on the next crop. So the hay was in the barn for a lot of the class of 2024, but we got a good jump on 2025 and the future of our program.
So is it a new barn? I mean,
Yeah, I guess it's a new barn.
multiple barns.
Yeah, another barn filling it up with hay.
Yeah, multiple barns.
Congratulations, obviously. I mean, the 4 stars, 5 stars, all the recruiting services look at it. The fans appreciate that. The media does. As coaching staff, are you as focused on the stars or are you more focused on the athletes?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't care about stars.
Yeah.
But when you're evaluating, just take fans through your process. Like, what are you looking for when you go out?
You
on
have
the
to
trail?
check the box as a player first, as far as your skill set. Is it something that we can use to go win football games? And then I think that's when the deeper dive in the work really starts, is evaluating character, evaluating the home life, the program that these guys are coming up in, where their ceiling might be comparative to where they're at right now as a player. And then just making sure that they're a great fit, for what we're building here.
Coach, I do want to ask you, too. We just heard from both coordinators talking offense, talking defense, but also specialists. You brought in a couple specialists, one new addition today.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that's you win the game in all 3 phases, so you have to have those pieces.
I want to talk a little bit about how your team helps you recruit, because they're a very important part of whether or not these kids are going to come and play for Oregon.
Yeah, you're talking about our players specifically?
Yes.
Yeah, I think, our players are our best advocate, when they're able to speak about their experience here at Oregon, what it's been like for them, what the coaching staff and their dynamic is. I think that's when you get the truth. The players are always going to tell the truth.
We were talking with Marshall earlier, Coach, about how it takes a village, right? It's a process in order to have a staff that has a celebration like today happen. So what's the process like as a head coach? How'd you go about building the culture to have this be a dream school for so many different individuals?
Yeah, it just starts one step at a time, and it starts with surrounding yourself with great people. I'm really blessed to have unbelievable people in our organization in every facet of our program. So those great people, do a great job of their job and identifying the people that can fit us. And then, the players, I think they speak to the culture themselves.
Is recruiting ever done at any point during the year, or is this now a year-long process?
Yeah, it's year-long.
I mean, you've always got to be looking ahead and talking and working.
That's right.
Now, you have windows. Do you have a window coming up? I mean, a period of time when you can actually get away from it a little bit?
I mean, you'll still have your phone on you, and it's still working. But like Saturday and Sunday, we're not coming to work Saturday, Sunday. Don't look for us. We're not going to be in this building. So we're pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll get you to Saturday and Sunday. It's a celebration day, though, too, Coach. You guys are going up to Portland, and just, I guess, an opportunity to talk a bit about what this place has meant to you as you've now been here for a little while.
Yeah, I'm in love with the spot. It's a great place. It's the kind of place where you can accomplish all your goals, and it's exciting the direction that it's headed.
All right, I have to ask you about this.
Yeah, I was just going to bring that up.
So did you know when you said it that it was going to be a T-shirt?
I didn't, no. But it seems like there's been a couple T-shirts around here after we say things.
Yeah,
so
there's a few.
Somebody's making money off of it.
There's a few. Well, I'll tell you what. So this was the #1 sold product on Fanatics last week. It's possible it'll be the #1 sold product on Fanatics this week. So
awesome.
Just thank you for what you've done for the wardrobe of our mannequin.
Yeah,
right?
It looks good.
Well, we got to add to it now. The grass is even damn greener than it was, okay?
That's
right.
right.
It's getting greener all the time.
Yeah.
Coach, we talk a lot about how you build a program, and I know recruiting freshmen is certainly a huge part. That's kind of the celebration today, but the transfer portal's changed things, hasn't it? I mean, evaluate that for fans. How has the transfer portal changed?
Well, it's giving you an opportunity to add some great additions to your program. Some guys that you feel like, again, can plug holes and be able to compete, create the competition that I think everyone so desires to be the best version of themselves. So it's been a great piece for us, and I think it also speaks volumes about what we've been able to do within our program as far as what we don't lose to the portal. And we're not losing guys because we have great relationships, and I think that really matters.
Yeah, also some key positions, too, where you hope those portal guys can come in and have an impact right away.
Absolutely, yeah. That's the goal. When we want to build the roster from the ground up, we want to start with high school players that we think we can develop that can come make an impact. But at times you want to supplement that with the portal. I think we've done a good job of that.
And it's amazing for I think all of us to see how much college football has changed, has adapted. I don't know, how do you feel about where it's going and how you guys have attacked the way that the schedule is with recruiting, the portal, everything else?
Yeah, I think our staff's done a really good job of being malleable and adaptable in this process, because that's what you have to be. And college football will probably continue to change, and as it continues to change, we got to continue to adapt.
What's your outlook on the roster? I mean, sum it up for us.
Yeah, I think we got to go play games and see how we play as a team. But we have a lot of talent on this roster. This is the most talented roster I've had since we've been here.
Coach Stein mentioned that part of the recruiting process is maintaining the kids that you had, that you have to work at that, and that you guys did a very good job of that this year. Not many of your really good kids or team wanted to leave and go somewhere else. That's part of the recruiting battle now, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes back to how you treat people and how you take care of the guys that you have on your roster, and we do that extremely well here.
I'm having fun. Are you having fun?
I'm having fun.
Yeah.
Having fun.
It's a good celebration day.
In your mind, in your gut, do you feel that at the end of this recruiting period now, have you assembled what you feel like is a team that you're going to take into this next season and win a national championship? Do you feel you're there?
I think we got a lot of work between now and then, right? But I do think that we have the pieces to the puzzle that are going to allow us to have a really good team. And what that looks like, time will tell. It's going to be about our off-season work. You don't win a game on paper. You got to go practice. You got to become a team, and that's the process over the next few months for us is building a team.
On that work front, how important is it for those that do enroll early? Talking about the freshmen, any transfers that are here, how valuable is that for them?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you can get acclimated, get into the process, start early as far as learning the substance of the playbook and learning what's it like to be a college student, all those things. I think it's really valuable time.
What's the biggest adjustment that incoming freshmen will have to make? I mean, most of them are here, enrolled, and starting through the process. But what's going to hit them in the face first times? Like, oh, this isn't high school.
Well, just your schedule in general. I mean, it can be pretty taxing when it's starting off with football in the morning and finishing with class in the afternoon and possibly having a meeting after at night. So it becomes really important how you manage your time.
What are the players up to now, and then how excited are you for spring?
Yeah, they're working. They're working in the weight room and, working in the classroom. So we're doing team runs in the morning. Our strength staff's doing a really good job. Coach Love and his staff's doing a really good job of getting these prepped. We go through different phases in the weight room, and right now it's about building some bulk and getting stronger in that weight room, and our guys are doing a good job of that.
How are you doing anything different now? You're getting ready for spring ball, going through winter conditioning, then spring ball, going to the Big Ten. Is there anything different, or is it still pretty much the same preparation for another season?
Yeah, the process is really the same. For us as a coaching staff, we're kind of at this point, you haven't had a chance to really go back and revisit what happened within the season. So we're evaluating us first. It'll start with where can we get better, where can we improve, what did we do really well, what did we not do so well, and then attack that. And then we'll probably get with some staffs and try to pluck some ideas that we think might fit, and then start into a deep dive, a study of what we're going to be facing moving forward and what those teams look like.
Question from a fan. Tommy asks if you and your son, your family, finished the Bourne series yet.
We haven't. If we did, I fell asleep on the couch. I think I made it through 1 and 2, but if we did, I fell asleep, which is kind of common when we watch movies at my house. If we're on the couch, there's a good chance I fall asleep.
I asked you once upon a time about movie trailers. I know that you're a movie guy. Anything else that's on your agenda for movies here moving forward?
Not right now. We watched the Aquaman at my house the other day.
Okay.
I didn't get to see much of it. I was knocked out. But I don't have anything on my list right now. I'll have to figure out what's next.
All right.
What's next is Super Bowl. Are you gonna watch Super Bowl?
Oh yeah, definitely.
You got a team? Okay, yeah.
I'm
He's a
Kansas
Chiefs
City.
fan.
I'm a Chiefs fan.
Okay,
We know
I
this.
knew that.
There's a benefit here, though, because we have some Ducks playing.
That's right.
In this game. So whichever way it goes, I'm excited. I want to see a great game.
Yeah, there's three Ducks playing. I'm partial. I grew up as a 49ers fan. I wasn't going to bring it up, but since Jerry did, I wish you the best of luck, Coach.
You want to do like a little side bet here,
Look,
like
fan
push-ups,
to another.
maybe 20 push-ups for
if compliance
video evidence.
If compliance allows,
Push-ups.
Push-ups, yeah.
If compliance
I just need a
allows.
video sent, texted me after the game.
It'll be terrible.
And if
It'll be bad form.
Yeah, I just need that 20 push-up bet.
But from one fan to another, here's for a great Super Bowl, right?
Great Super Bowl.
Great
Super
Super
Bowl.
Bowl. Yeah.
And the commercials. Super Bowl commercials. Yeah, I love the commercials.
Yeah, depends on the commercial.
Well, it
depends
depends
on
on
the commercial.
I got to ask you, you're out recruiting, you're going into these homes, you're meeting parents, meeting coaches. What's the kind of response that you're getting about Oregon now and about what you have here that you're recruiting to? How are people responding? Many years ago, you had to educate them on where Oregon was. It's not the case anymore, is it?
No, it's certainly not. Our team is recognized across the country. I think it's a team that people still grow up saying that's the dream school for them, which is something that's always fun when you get to meet those people. But just getting the opportunity for them to see the product that we've been able to put on the field the last few years, I think really speaks volumes of what the future looks like. And I think the best indicator of the future is the past. So we've been able to build off some of the great stepping stones and the progress that's existed here at Oregon in the past, and it's creating a really exciting times for us.
Cool. Well, Coach, I know you're off to the next celebration moment throughout the day. We're out of time, so I really appreciate you taking the time here.
Absolutely.
Today.
Thank you, guys. Have
Good
a good
to
one.
see you.
You too.
We've been live from the Country Financial Studio. It's National Signing Day. It's presented by our friends at McDonald's. Coach Lanning, ladies and gentlemen. The grass is damn green in Eugene.
Oh, is it ever?
For Jerry Allen, I'm Joey Mack. Thanks for being with us. It's a good day to be a Duck. Go Ducks, everybody.